This is Siwalila. Let's discuss Reasonable Doubt, Season 2, Episode 9, Who You Wit. We got good old cousin Sally stressing, pacing back and forth as she listens to the news report how bad her testimony was and has helped JT jersey sales go up. Her husband comes in, checks on her, says, I still care. She says, I don't believe you. So she seduces him. She's full of a little bit of vodka, and he hits her with a quick pump and dump. While my song of the episode plays Icebox by Omarion. JT's ex-girlfriend, who is really his baby mama, just found that out this episode, wants to meet with Chanel before she decides whether or not she's going to testify. Of course, Chanel is not feeling this meetup, but Ebony gives her story of abuse about how JT used to punch her in the face, then asked her to give him pain medication so he could be able to play, and then she would just inject herself with the leftovers. So this is how she ended up being an addict. So her real stipulation is if Chanel will talk to the daughter Natasha for her, then she will testify and tell her story in court. Then we get this real strange scene with Jax pulling out Damon's case, which she has hidden under the bed in an envelope, and flipping through it. I have no idea what this means. Hopefully they will tie this up for us. Lewis and Jax go talk to Spencer about the vape that they found, and of course he's like, I was just practicing with the other people in the production. They do worse drugs than that. It's really nothing. And Mom, you smoke too. And that's when I knew that there's a real black mama in the writing room, because when Jax flipped around like, you said, what now? Now who? Because I'm grown and I do grown folks things, so you stay in a child's place. Jax and Corey, of course, have to do a little trial prep with Ebony to make sure she's prepared. Jax does, the soft questions, and then Corey cross-examines her and really digs into her about her addiction, about leaving her daughter. And her story is that JT and his mama, that's who really wanted the child. JT didn't even want the child. He wanted her to get rid of the baby before she even had it. How they spent so much money on lawyers that she could not keep up. She could not afford it. She was addicted to painkillers, so she went into rehab, but then JT cut off her health insurance, so she couldn't even afford to get the help that she needed to be able to be a part of her daughter's life. JT's old evil mama, who plays an evil mama or grandmama in every show I've ever seen her in, rolls up on Ebony and threatens to tell Natasha about everything that happened while Ebony was addicted to painkillers. Tells her, I'll let everything out. There was a lot of stuff you did you probably don't even remember, and I'm going to make sure that your daughter knows if you get up on that stand and testify against my son. So Ebony relapses. She's drunk. She's taking pills. She's passed out in the car at a parking garage at the courthouse right before she was supposed to testify. So they have to call 911 for her. So we have a rogue juror possibly who has been taking notes saying that it's just for deliberations, but Corey has proof that the juror was meeting with a publisher. So they appear before the judge, and Corey wants the juror removed because the juror has been tainted if she is trying to sell her story to a publisher. The DA really wants this juror to stay on the jury. She believed that the juror will vote in her favor. The judge decides to let the juror go. So now the composition of the jury is more in favor for Chanel. This turn of events prompts the DA to offer Chanel a deal, 10 years for involuntary manslaughter. They discuss this deal with Chanel, the pros and cons. Corey does not want her to take the deal because he wants a win in this case because that helps his other client. Jax calls him out on this, saying that you're not offering the best advice because you have an ulterior motive with your previous client. Jax meets up with her other friend, still can't remember her name, but in this episode she did find out that she lost her baby. But they sit down to discuss how strange Sally has been acting. You know why she's been acting strange? She's keeping a secret. She's on the list of people that took out JT. And we get a visit. Good old cousin Sally goes to visit Chanel in jail. And it's obvious from this conversation that Sally is keeping a secret, and she just can't keep it anymore. It's tearing up her life, it's ruining her marriage and her relationships, and Chanel calls her selfish. Like, I'm in jail. Your problems are minor to my problems. So Sally is like, but I put my house up for you. I'm losing my husband for you. And you calling me selfish? She's like, I'm going to show you selfish. I'm done. And walks out on him. Chanel testifies this episode, and I feel like she did way better in prep than they show her doing this episode. Of course, the DA twists her words up. She's really nice, sets you up for the bait, and then gets you to respond really aggressively, which Chanel did, which does not work in her favor. They discussed the discrepancy in her statement and her testimony. In her statement to police, she said that she hit JT on the back of his head while he was choking her. While on the stand, she said she did it while he walked away. See, it's always hard to keep a lie straight, and that never made sense anyway, that she would be able to hit him hard enough in the back of the head while he was choking her to take him out. We get a really good scene with Jackson Spencer, and she's telling him what her real issue is with him vaping. She admits that she has a bad habit, but she doesn't want him to pick up bad habits. To understand the boundaries, because addiction runs on her side of the family and she doesn't want that for him. A really emotionally intelligent conversation between a mother and son. And the only reason I bring this up because I thought it was weird how they had the daughter like lurking in the door looking like she was kind of jealous in this moment. Like, where are they finna go with this storyline with the daughter looking like that in the door? I didn't understand that. Corey is practicing his closing arguments, even asks Jax to do it instead of him, but she declines. She knows the second chair would never give the closing argument. Then he gets a call from his previous client, Isabel. They have a disagreement over the phone about how he is still fighting for her case, but she is not. And then she fires him. So this definitely is going to mess up his mental. He needs to be prepared for this closing. End of the episode, we get a quick montage, a quick update on what's going on with everybody. Sally and Chris. Chris is going out. Sally's like, hey, you coming back home? He says, unfortunately, yes. They can wrap that up. Their marriage is over. Tony goes into labor early at only 29 weeks, so that's going to be a concern. While Jax is speaking to Lewis, telling him about the conversation she had with Spencer, she gets an epiphany. Rushes down to the jail to see Chanel and tells her, I know who took out JT. Now I'm starting to think it's my second guess that it's the oldest daughter, because Sally didn't admit it during the conversation. She just said, I'm tired of carrying your secrets. So let me know what you think about my new prediction, or my second prediction. Is it cousin Sally, or is it the oldest daughter? Until next time.